perspectives of me based on their experiences or based on their judgments, it doesn't matter. I am the elephant. I'm like the elephant and the blind man, where one blind man touches the leg of the elephant and says it's a tree trunk, and one touches the side of the elephant and says it's a wall, and the other touches the trunk of the elephant and says it's a snake, and the other touches the tail and says it's a rope. Whereas in effect, it is an elephant. People have their perspectives of me based on their experiences or based on their judgments. It doesn't matter. I am the elephant. I bought my home here in 2013 and then thought to myself, Pooja, which man is ever going to give up his whole life and say, yes, I'm going to give up my businesses and my life and move to Goa with me? Not going to happen. It's never going to be my permanent home. And then I met my fiance Manik, who happens to be living in Goa for the last 30 years. I've known him since my boarding school, since I was 12 years old. He builds boats. He's a boat builder in Goa. And I just looked up at the universe and said, thank you, universe. And in 2017, I started actually actively living here. And I've been here ever since. And then, of course, I started my health and wellness enterprises here because that's what Goa lends itself so beautifully to. Happy Soul is my brand. Magicians of Wellness Private Limited is my company. And I seek to go beyond just Pooja Bedi doing workshops. So my company, whether it's wellness retail, my cafe, which includes wellness foods, gives you healthier choices. We don't turn around and say, oh, you have to be vegetarian. It's not necessary that you have to give up a whole chunk of your life to be healthy. You could make healthier non-vegetarian choices. For example, you could turn to antibiotic-free chickens. You could have cage-free eggs. You could have non-fried foods. And those are the kind of experiences we give you here. We teach you a lot about what it is to try these alternative forms of food in a delicious form. We're a Goa-registered company. It's a Goa-registered startup. We've registered under Startup Goa, Startup India. So yes, very happy and positive and optimistic. So, for me, I have my children back in Bombay. So, it's very hard for me to be away from them. And it's been the biggest challenge and the biggest sacrifice for me coming to Goa has been having to stay apart from my kids. Very interestingly, Goa as a government is actually focusing a lot on wellness tourism. They would like to change the quality of tourists coming in and the reason and purpose for which people travel to Goa. And wellness is one of the biggest priorities, I believe, for this government to cater to in tourism. So I seem to be on the right path with Happy Soul, and therefore if that is the intention of the government to bring in more of that kind of tourists, then I think I'm going to be extraordinarily busy in the years to come. I love the beaches here, so every time I have time out, I tend to go to the shacks on the beach and eat their local food and just lie on the beach and pretend I'm like a sea turtle and or a beach whale, whichever way you'd like to look at me now that I put on a bit of weight. So my fiance builds boats, so I love to spend time at sea or on the river. And I'm a nature girl, so if you tell me to go up to a wilderness, which is about 1.5 hours out, and have a lovely weekend in the wild, I'd be very happy to do that. If you ask me to go on a pub crawl trail in Fontanas and Panjim, I'm very happy to do that as well, and visit the little dives and go into all these places and try a drink, at these wonderful little spaces which have come up and mushroomed. Goa is so varied, it brings so much to the table. There's so much I have experienced in Goa and so much I still have to experience in Goa. The quality of my friendships, that has changed so dramatically since I've come to Goa, because no longer you're just meeting them at a dinner or a party and sort of having a half-an-hour conversation with them. When they're here, you're spending days with them. They're staying in your home. You're interacting with them completely differently, and the nature of those friendships has become so strong and beautiful and grows from strength to strength. So I just love everything that Goa's brought into my life. The book that changed my life was Who Moved My Cheese. And I read that book, and though it is a book meant for marketing and it is a book meant for used widely in corporate circles, the fact that you move on when there is no cheese and you go out there because you're hungry and you're passionate and needy of cheese, and you go find cheese, which is symbolic of something that really matters to you in your life, and not scared to go back into the maze again and put on your running shoes and get into the game of life again. And you're not deterred by the challenges of the past, but you're so focused on what you need and want for yourself, and you unapologetically go out there and get what you want because it's time and you want it. I think that book just changed my life. I got divorced because of that book. and every time I sit back and I feel, oh God, this too, I sit back and I think of that book. I'm like, why not? Let's just go back. Let's just give it all we've got. Let's just go out there, focus, and get the cheese.